Howdy, y'all. I'm Justin.
And I'm Kim.
Welcome to Cowboys Like Us, the podcast where we talk about Taylor Swift and her music. Yeehaw. Hello. Welcome to Cowboys Like Us, the only podcast to be officially certified finger-licking good. KFC, if you are listening, throw us some sponsorship money, you cowards.
Hello.
Yes, hello. Today we are talking about Dear Reader, the 20th and final track from Midnight's 3 a.m. edition.
Yep, second Midnight song in a row.
Yep. And in sequential order, because woulda, coulda, shoulda is 19.
Mm-hmm.
Funny how it worked out. But first, got some poll results for you. When Emma Falls in Love, the people voted, and the pod gremlin really stacked the ballot box a little bit, stuffed it, and it got a 9, which is too damn high, like that old meme of that guy.
Yeah.
That's one that the Gen Alphas won't get. I'm not worried about it.
They can look it up.
Let's get into some news, shall we? Just get right into it, because we got a lot to talk about this week. News from around the Taylorverse. Jack Antonoff, singer, songwriter, producer, multi-instrumentalist, and friend of the pod, is getting married, presumably today, on Long Beach Island, New Jersey. Taylor has been spotted there. She was at a bar last night for the rehearsal dinner.
Yeah. Congratulations to Jack and Margaret
Yes, indeed.
on your wedding. So sorry that Swifties ruined it.
Yes. Once Swifties got word that Taylor had been sighted, they swarmed outside the bar there, and the police had to come and close down that street that it was on, route people around it, and do crowd control, make sure everything was cool. Yeah, I feel a little bad for Jack and them,
Yeah.
trying to get married in just a circus.
Yeah. There were too many people. Too many people outside that venue, and it was a yacht club that's private, so, like, they should have had a level of privacy that they did not get, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, you would have thought so. You would have thought so. Taylor was certainly not the only celebrity spotted. Also there, Lana Del Rey, Channing...
Waffle House worker.
That's right. Waffle House waitress Lana Del Rey, Channing Tatum, Alabama's own, represent, and Zoe Kravitz were also seen out there.
Yeah, and nobody lost their minds except when Taylor showed up.
Yeah, it's just a different thing.
I guess. It's
What?
unfortunate. Anyway.
Yep. People love Taylor. They want to see her. And in addition to Swifties, food banks love Taylor because... How do you like that segue, ladies and gentlemen? Let's just say that. Taylor made some very big donations to food banks across America as she was on her Eras tour, or the first leg, I should say. We do not have exact monetary figures, but Miss Terry Shoemaker of the Arizona Food Bank Network said that they were able to purchase and distribute over 40,000 pounds of fresh produce with her donation to the Arizona Food Bank Network. And
Nice.
let me tell you, kids, if y'all don't know, fresh produce is like the most expensive food, pretty much. You know, lobster and shit, maybe more. But fresh produce is not cheap, is what I'm saying.
Okay, the food bank's not giving out lobster, but
Yeah,
it's
my point
not
is-
cheap.
My point is, that was a pretty penny to get 40,000 pounds of it.
Definitely.
Yes, indeed. Next, Austin Reeves. You may not have heard of him,
Nope. I have no idea who he is.
but he's a basketball player for the Los Angeles Lakers. Plays with Mr. LeBron James.
Heard of him?
Heard of him, yep. And rumors have been swirling that when Taylor was out in LA, she was spotted at a bar with Mr. Reeves, but that was unconfirmed. And then recently, this week, Mr. Austin Reeves was quoted as saying, "Everybody that knows me knows that I don't go out." So he denies that that happened. He's a homebody.
Yeah.
So,
Vibe.
yep, same, bro.
Honestly.
He just like me for real.
Yep.
Higher education. Have you heard of it?
No.
Well,
Not familiar.
well, it's heard of Taylor. a university in Belgium, Ghent University, is going to offer a new class this fall based on Taylor's lyrics and their relationship and common themes to British literature. It will be taught by a professor named Ellie McCausland, who said she had noticed a lot of parallel themes between Brit Lit and Taylor Swift's lyrics, and she said, quote, "What I want to do is show students that although these texts might seem inaccessible, they can be accessible if we look at them from a slightly different angle. So Shakespeare, in some way, is actually addressing a lot of the same questions as Taylor Swift is today, which seems crazy, but he is. And this will not be the first or only Taylor Swift-inspired course. There is a class at Arizona State called The Psychology of Taylor Swift. There is a Taylor Swift course at the Clive Davis Institute of Recorded Music about her oeuvre. And there is a course called the Taylor Swift Songbook at Texas. And all too well, the 10-week version at Stanford, in which they go into excruciating detail about that one song.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I personally would like to sign up just for psychology and Taylor Swift at Arizona State.
I would take all of them. It seems interesting.
I am interested in that. But if every class was taught to me in comparison to Taylor Swift, I feel like I would have done a lot better in school.
Math, Taylor's version.
Exactly.
That would be fun.
Hey kids, spelling is fun.
That's right. That's right. Tim McGraw is a man. He makes terrible country music.
When you think Tim McGraw.
Yep. And he inspired
my favorite song.
Taylor's first ever single.
That's that song.
Yep. And he was recently asked about it in an interview, and he said that he is, quote, pretty proud that Taylor named that song after him, and also said that Taylor is, quote, one of the greatest songwriters ever. So, he's a fan.
Yeah. It also makes sense that Taylor named it after him if it was going to be about a country music artist, because he was pretty big at the time.
He was. Still, I don't know if he still is. I don't listen to country music radio these days, or radio in general.
I don't think he's doing a lot of new music, but I mean, people definitely still know who he is.
Yeah. Country artists are around forever until they die, if they want to be. Mm-hmm. That's just how it works. I don't know why. There's some drama on Reddit, if you can believe it, because it's usually so peaceful over there. The big subreddit is r/Taylor Swift, and their general stance with the Maddie Healy rumors and photos and everything was that Maddie Healy is a bad man and Taylor should feel bad for being involved with him, which is more or less accurate, but...
We all make mistakes.
Yeah, but it wasn't really, as big a deal as they've made it.
Yeah.
People do what they do. It doesn't affect your personal life. And so there was a splinter faction who called themselves True Swifties. They have their own sub now called r/True Swifties. And that was their reason for existing. Was they were like, no, Taylor can date all the races she wants. And we'll still ride or die because we are the True Swifties. Well, if you couldn't believe it, the True Swifties are homophobic. Big time. We were talking about that the other day on one of our episodes. Mm-hmm. The conservative backlash that still seems to exist in the fan base despite Taylor not wanting them there or anyone caring for them at all. Your mothers don't love you, I'm sorry. They are engaged in a sort of fandom civil war with r/Taylor Swift because they don't like that the Gaylors think Taylor might be gay. They hate it. They cannot stand it, and they think they are persecuted because, won't someone think of the straights or whatever.
Yeah.
They're very much got a persecution fetish over there. God gives
Somebody really needs to look out for all the straight people in this gay world.
That's right. God gives his hardest battles to his toughest soldiers. The True Swifties, that's them,
That's their motto.
That's them, yeah. Go outside, guys. Like, it's fine. Goddamn.
Yeah, get off Reddit, honestly.
Taylor could be some sort of queer identifying. Could be.
Taylor Swift could be some sort of queer.
I said queer identifying.
I know. If you had stopped there, my brain stopped it there.
Yeah. She could be. She could not be. Either way, it's fine. It's not that serious. Just,
it's not.
Just be chill.
Taylor's sexuality is her business, honestly.
Yep, just leave it alone. It's all good. Don't worry about it. If people want to speculate, that shouldn't hurt your feelings. If other people are in their own space speculating about what they want to speculate about.
And you're not required to speculate. You don't have to agree.
Yeah, you could just do your own thing.
Yeah, just leave them alone.
Let people do what they do, and you do what you do, and there the twins shall meet. Anyway, the Eras Tour is making a lot of money, as we've talked about before. The newest projections, according to CNN, are that it could earn as much as $2.2 billion. North American sales alone. So that's not even counting Europe and Asia.
Crazy.
The rest.
Crazy.
So.
It's a lot of money.
Yep. And the previous record, if you recall, for a tour was 800 and something million. So Taylor is lapping the field in a big way.
She is making this much money, and she won't take ours. I don't understand.
Yep. We can't get a ticket. We just can't. I don't know. It's tragic. Do you have anything else right now that I missed?
Nope. I was going to add the bit about Jack's wedding, but we already talked about it. So
that's right. While you sleep, I grind. I'm out here grinding. Putting the news in the document.
Yeah. Yep. That's true. I prefer sleep, though, anyway, so it's fine.
On to Chart Watch, then. The Billboard Artist 100 chart. Taylor rose one spot to reclaim her throne.
As predicted.
Mm-hmm. On the Billboard Hot 100 singles chart, Cruel Summer rose one spot to its new peak, number 3.
Who is listening to the radio? Who?
It is important to note that the Billboard Hot 100 singles does also include streaming numbers.
Oh, it does? Okay.
As well. Yeah, it's the master chart that includes everything. Speaking of that, while we're talking about it, Taylor's Cruel Summer was number 1 on the mainstream top 40 chart, which is a, genre-limited chart. Both of the songs above her are country songs, one by Mr. the N-word sayer Morgan Wallen.
I knew you were going to say that.
And Luke Combs' cover of Fast Car,
yeah.
For some reason.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, but the original was already good.
Yeah, it is. But Luke Combs' version is good too. Luke Combs is a precious little angel that should be protected.
Yes, to my knowledge, he has not called anyone the N-word. So
no, he has not.
We like him, all right.
He's a good guy.
Do your thing.
Cruel Summer did make it to number 1 on Spotify, though, I think.
Did it? Okay.
Yes, and so I believe the Gremlin shared that on our Instagram.
Nice.
But there was some confusion within the pod staff where Cruel Summer was ranking. So
yes, Madeline thought it was number 1 on Billboard Hot 100, which is the King chart from which all of their charts feed into, but not quite yet. Maybe next week. We'll see.
I love it. I don't know. I don't want to be wrong, I guess.
You're already wrong. You've been wrong.
I know, but
for 2 weeks straight, you've been wrong.
When we talked about when I was wrong the first time, I was like, I don't think it'll make it to 1. And you were like, yeah, me either.
Well, we could both be wrong together then. Also on the rise, Karma with Ice Spice, which came up 7 spots, number 13.
I fully expected that to just keep dropping off.
Yeah, Taylor had a big week across the board. Anti-Hero also came up 13 spots to number 18. Blank Space re-entered the chart at number 49 from the first time since 2015.
Unfortunate.
And I Can See You rose 13 spots to number 63. So all of Taylor's songs on the chart went up, and she got a new one back.
I'm just clarifying that it's unfortunate that Blank Space is on here because it's the stolen version.
Yep, it is. But in October, it'll get sorted out. Hopefully. On to the Billboard Top 200 Albums chart. Speak Now TV went up 1 spot at number 4. Midnights went up 3 spots to number 5. Lover is up 4 spots to number 6. Folklore's up 3 spots to number 9. 1989, the stolen version, up 3 spots to number 13. Reputation up 4 spots to number 15. Red Taylor's version up 5 spots to number 18. Evermore up 4 spots to number 24. Fearless TV up 4 spots to number 30. debut up 26 spots to number 144, and Speak Now, the stolen version, up 13 spots to number 181. Stop listening to it.
We have a new version. Why are people still listening to it? Also, 1989 being at number 13 would be fun if it wasn't the stolen version.
Yep. A lot of people, we've talked about it, who are not as big of fans as us. So, stop listening to the stolen records.
Yeah, ideally.
Stop it.
Well, I understand it's hard. It's hard to do. I want to listen to them too. I'm going to be truthful.
Okay.
I listen to Reputation. It's the only one though. But I also broke that rule early on about Reputation because I didn't think we were going to get it for a long time, seeing as it was the last one we had gotten before she announced that she was going to re-record. So,
yeah, I almost did this week. I almost listened to 1989 because I was so hyped for it. Taylor's version, and I was like, God, I want to listen to it, but I didn't. Yeah. I abstained. I said no. I can wait till October because I am strong.
Yes, I have not sought out the songs off of any of the other stolen albums. Just, I listen to Reputation. I love it. It's my favorite.
Indeed. Well, I think that's it for the news. Let's move on to Kimberly's Clown Corner.
Welcome to the wildest ride in Taylor Nation. This week I had a couple of small clown topics, Swiftery lesson ideas, based on some other news that we've gotten and rumors floating around. So I decided to throw it all together and give you whiplash. Buckle up, baby. Did you know that Taylor Swift is an actor?
What?
So this information comes from an article on NoGuiltFangirl.com.
That's strange that I haven't seen that yet because I always look at that website every day.
Yeah. You're a big fan of that website.
Missed it somehow, yeah.
So over the course of the podcast, we've mentioned one or two of her acting credits, but let's talk about her relationship with the silver screen. So, I'm just going to quickly run through all of the live action and animated voice acting work that Taylor has done in her past. So, she made a cameo in the blockbuster hit Jonas Brothers, The 3D Concert Experience.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was in like 2009. Anyway, 2008, 2009, around that time. I didn't put the year here. She performed Should Have Said No with Joe Jonas. Ironic. I'm counting this because I personally saw it in theaters when it came out, and it was a formative time in my life. So get over it if you don't like it.
It's a movie. She was in it.
She was in Hannah Montana, the movie, in 2009. She played, I'm assuming herself, her character does not have a name and is not introduced, but she played the song Crazier in that movie. And then, of course, she had an actual role in Valentine's Day in 2010. Her character's name was Felicia, and her character was dating Taylor Lautner's character. 'Tis how they met.
And then they did date in real life.
Yep.
Wow.
4 years later, in 2014, she was in The Giver, playing Rosemary. Then she was in the cinematic masterpiece Reputation Stadium Tour in 2018. She was in a documentary in 2019 called Bluebird about the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville, Tennessee, where she met Scott Borchardt My Pants.
Scott the Borchardt.
In 2019, she was in the smash movie Cats. Musical Cats.
We saw it in theaters, and it was one of the greatest experiences of my life because I was just laughing till I thought I might die.
She played Bomb Ballerina, and this particular article lists her as co-starring James Corden. Like, there aren't a bajillion other big actors in that movie bigger than Corden. Also, her character sings a song specifically about the other cat that she spends the most time with, who is played by Idris Elba. So, like, what? We're talking about James Corden, not Idris Elba?
Make it make sense.
Also, if you haven't seen this movie or ever seen the stage musical, you should. And if you don't like it, you probably don't understand it. So get cultured, you swine. It should either be the funniest thing you've ever seen or emotionally revealing.
It is a disaster of a film. And it is wildly entertaining.
Yeah, it should either be the craziest, funniest thing you've ever seen or speak to you on a deep level is what I'm trying to say. And if it doesn't, then you don't get it.
Jason Derulo is in it.
Jason Derulo.
He doesn't do that, but I wish to God he had at the beginning of his song. And yeah, he plays the cat everybody wants to bang.
Hell yeah.
Who's always banging.
Hell yeah. In 2020, she was in Miss Americana Cinematic Masterpiece Part 2 Electric Boogaloo, Taylor Swift Gets Into Politics.
That's right.
That's my entire tagline for that movie. In 2020, she also put out City of Lover concert, what should have been Loverfest, but there was a worldwide Patricia, so... In 2021, we got the All Too Well short film. This was her filmmaking debut. Her own short film that she wrote, directed, and produced. It won a Grammy for Best Music Video, 2 VMAs for Video of the Year and Best Direction, an AMA Video of the Year, Hollywood Critics Association Award, and Art Directors Guild Award for Excellence in Production Design.
It was also nominated for an Academy Award, which it did not win.
Yeah. And then in 2022, she was in a movie called Amsterdam. She plays a character called Liz Meekins. This article describes the movie and Taylor's role as, quote, a small supportive role in a forgettable movie.
Yeah, nobody saw that.
I've not seen this movie, but the only thing I know about it is, and spoiler alert, skip forward like 30 seconds if you don't want to know, because you're going to watch this movie.
You've just been waiting to see Amsterdam.
Taylor's character gets hit by a car. That's all I know.
Damn. I also know Margot Robbie's in it.
Mm.
That's the only thing I know about.
So, that is Taylor's film history. So now on to the speculation.
Hang on now.
Oh.
I have to interject and say that your disrespect for the Lorax won't be tolerated.
Oh, I did skip it. Whoops, I'm sorry. And I even listed animated voice acting because it was supposed to go in there. Well, shit.
Yep. She was in
Oopsie doopsie.
the Lorax playing the girl, the love interest.
Yeah, which... fun little side fact. I cannot believe I missed that. Okay, anyway, she plays alongside Zac Efron.
Right.
And it is speculated that the song Girl at Home is about him and it's from this time because when they were working on this movie together, they were like flirting with each other. And so she was like, don't look at me, you got a girl at home and everybody knows it. You know.
Yep.
Okay, anyway, so sorry to the Lorax and his trees.
He speaks for the trees.
Exactly. I did intend to include that, and then apparently skipped it completely. Anyway, speculation. Clown Town. Here we go. Taylor's making her own feature film, according to Variety. Nobody knows much about the movie Taylor is rumored to be directing, other than she is also the writer of the screenplay. And it looks like it will be produced by Searchlight Pictures. I can't speak.
Searchlight Pictures.
Searchlight Pictures. A former Fox, now Disney subsidiary.
Yes, sir.
No, subsidiary. Sorry.
Was that not a bit? You accidentally read it as subsidiary?
I was focused on the accent, not the word.
Subsidiary. Yes.
Subsidiary. I know how to say that word. The country accent doesn't know how to say that word.
Yeehaw.
Variety reported about it in December 2022. And Rodrigo Prieto, who is a cinematographer for the smash film Barbie,
May have heard of it.
says he has talked to Taylor about the film and that he knows she'll be a great director, but unsure whether he'll get to work on it or not. So, that's exciting stuff. there's really not a lot of information to go off of.
No. From my reading of that article, because I did read it, Variety seems to be under the impression that Taylor has the screenplay already written, and, like, you know, that's what started everything. She submitted it to Searchlight, and they agreed to let her make it. So,
right,
we're just waiting for her to do that.
Yeah, probably for her to have some time to do that, because with what time?
Yep, indeed. She's a very busy lady.
Additional film speculation, Taylor might be playing Dazzler in Deadpool 3.
Now, who is this Dazzler person?
I will tell you based off of information that I got from giantfrickingrobot.com.
I've been there before, yes.
Nothing's confirmed, despite a few TikToks I saw saying that it was confirmed. But Taylor is rumored to have a cameo in Deadpool 3, starring friend of the pod Ryan Reynolds
yes,
as Dazzler.
Owner of Wrexham AFC.
Yes.
Recently
big fan.
Kicked off their first season in League 2 in a long, long time. Welcome to Wrexham, Season 2, coming this September.
Who does he own?
He owns it with Rob McElhenney of...
Yeah, Sunny.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. We are sponsored by neither of those programs, but we could be if you're listening. Rob and Ryan. Hit us up.
You are a friend of the pod.
That's right.
So Dazzler is a member of the X-Men. Maybe you've heard of their comics. Maybe you've heard of their movies.
We're also not sponsored by X-Men, but again, we could be.
I don't know that they want to sponsor us. I don't know. Unless she joins. I don't know what we can offer them. Anyway, Dazzler is a mutant pop star who can convert sound into light and use it as a weapon.
I'm interested in that as an idea, but I don't know what it would look like.
A lot of the fan art I've seen of Taylor drawn as the Dazzler, and I think the original animation of the Dazzler as well, is pretty spot on. She'd make a great Dazzler.
Okay. Well, let's hope that it comes together then.
Yeah, makes sense.
I don't know why she wouldn't do it. Unless she was just too busy.
No, yeah, but...
That'd be the only thing.
I think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
And I think she'd think it'd be cool.
I think it'd get people in there. Swifties will go see it.
Oh, yeah. And she loves Ryan and Blake, so...
Why not?
Switching gears, because I told you I'm taking you on a ride. Big speculation. Ooh, you and me would be a big speculation. I've been singing that for like 2 days. Madeline is ready to kill me.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna cut that. I might. I might. We'll see.
That's fine. You can if you want to.
I probably won't.
Let's talk about Reputation re-record. So all of this information came from Billboard.com, People.com, and the DailyMail.co.uk. And I understand that the Daily Mail is problematic, and if it was something that they were speculating on, then I probably wouldn't have used it, but this was more fact-based things. So, Reputation is next, boys. I've been saying it forever, and so have a bunch of other Swifties, but, it's not finished? Question mark?
Gasp.
While on Andy Cohen's Deep and Shallow podcast on SiriusXM, when asked if he and Taylor had re-recorded In-Game off of Reputation, yet Ed Sheeran said, no, I haven't. No, but 1989 Taylor's version is the next one coming out. That's the next one. Ed doesn't seem too skilled on deflecting, or maybe he was just really caught off guard. This response feels like he knows something about the release of Rep, or they have a plan to record the song on the books but haven't reached that point yet. Ed admitting that they haven't recorded In-Game yet doesn't mean Rep won't be next, though. This is Clem. That's my new name, is Clem. Kim's clownery theory. In a discussion Justin and I had the other day, I brought up this exact scenario, and to be honest, I think this is kind of confirming that a little bit. My theory is that Taylor has re-recorded everything that is a solo song. Any song that she plans to have a feature on are finished, and the whole album is then polished, mixed, produced, etc. in time to release. It makes more sense to me that with the weight of the Eras Tour, she would knock out everything she possibly could in advance, and other celebrities' schedules are hard to work around, so this would mean saving those particular songs until they have the opportunity to match up schedules. Now, I surely don't know why they wouldn't have gone ahead and recorded it when they re-recorded Everything Has Changed and Run for Red Taylor's version. But it could have to do with the time allotment or futures availability, because there is a third person on that song. Days after Ed made this comment, Taylor and Ed were spotted at a private members club in New York City called Zero Bond. This club opened in 2020. It has a $5,000 annual fee, and the club itself has $10 million worth of art and a private library.
Ooh.
Zero Bond's dining experience is an omakase. I don't know how you say it, but anyway, it's Japanese.
I see.
And it translates to basically chef's choice.
There you go.
The price range for dinner is $145 to $245 per person, not including truffle, caviar, or Wagyu add-ons. Maybe this dinner was a chance for Taylor and Ed to schedule their recording session, or maybe it was just two friends who have finally had a minute off work to get together.
Could be.
I would love to know if any of our listeners, do you think that Tay has been recording everything and is just putting final features and touches on before release? Or does Taylor not touch the re-records until the last one's new wears off?
My personal theory is that she does them one at a time. Not necessarily that she waits, for the full album cycle for the re-records.
Sure, but until the new wears off for her.
Yeah, I think she does them one at a time. That's just what I've assumed, because I think it'd be easiest to do it that way. That way, you focus in and you get the one that you're working on perfect, and then you close the book on that and move on to the next chapter.
Maybe so.
Could be.
I don't know. None of us know.
Nope.
This is why we're here. This is clownery in its finest. All right. So one more lane change. Oh, also talking about Taylor and Ed going to dinner together. A lot of people thought that they were pictured leaving the recording studio together because they did not realize where they were. And so everybody was like, they talked about it and now they're recording it and whatever. But yeah, it was confirmed that it was the private club.
That's right.
Mostly confirmed by me because I read that it was a private club called Zero Bond, and then I looked at the pictures, and the map that Taylor is walking across literally says Zero Bond. So, anyway, one more lane change. Let's talk about yet again something else. Super Bowl speculation.
Yes, you claimed last week, I believe it was, that Taylor was going to be Super Bowl 2024 halftime performer. Is that still accurate?
I couldn't remember when I talked about it, so I put a refresher.
It may have been a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like I already talked about this one on here, but just in case I didn't, and you need a refresher, TikTok has convinced me that there are going to be more Eras Tour dates to round out 2024. And I'm a believer in Taylor's triple date drop because she is a lady of patterns, so that would mean we still have dates to come. But wouldn't it make sense that she wraps up a second North American / US leg of the Eras Tour with a fan base widely accessible performance of a condensed Eras Tour at the 2025 Super Bowl? Taylor would have to be working with the NFL to confirm the already announced fall 2024 dates of the Eras Tour and work with them to confirm the football schedules in order to use the stadiums.
Right.
News has just come out that Taylor has turned down an offer to play the 2024 Super Bowl because she's gonna play 2025, obviously. This is allegedly the second time she's been offered a Super Bowl halftime show. They offered it in 2022 and now 2024.
Allegedly.
So, this is my clownery that this is more evidence pointing us towards 2025 is going to be the year that she actually does a Super Bowl halftime show.
One of these days, guys. One of these days.
Yeah, she's got to do it eventually.
Just keep guessing and you're bound to be right eventually.
All right. So, if you're still following along and I haven't lost you to La La Land, wow, what must that be like? And that's on ADHD. Okay, bye.
All right. Let's get to the song of the week then, which, as we mentioned at the top of the episode, is Dear Reader from Midnight's 3 a.m. edition. Let's jump straight into song facts. It was written by Taylor Swift and Mr. Jack, soon-to-be-married Antonoff. Produced by the same Taylor and Jack, and it peaked at number 45 on the Billboard Hot 100 when Midnights came out. What has Taylor said about this song?
Dick shit.
That is correct. She has not, as of now, said anything about it that I could find. The critics, I couldn't find much on it. Most of them reviewed the standard edition of Midnights rather than the 3 AM. We had the same problem the other day.
Yeah.
But what I could find, this is a quote from Insider, "Dear Reader is one of the most heartfelt songs Swift has ever released. A plea to see her as a person and not as a character or as some kind of, quote, guiding light." And then The Independent said, "Dear Reader feels like the perfect close to Midnights." So, on to fan reception. What did the fans think?
Our boy Rob Sheffield rated it at 154, and he goes out of his way to reach for a Jane Eyre, thank you, sorry, my brain's not working, comparison that is tenuous at best. It's a great book that I'm sure Taylor has read, and Jane does speak to the reader directly, but that's the only commonality.
Yes, indeed. And I'm sure back in the Victorian days when Jane Eyre came out, and she spoke directly to the readers in the book, that it blew everybody's nips off, because they're like, oh my god, I didn't know they could do that.
Breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, but it's not like that's the only time it happened until Dear Reader came out, you guys. So,
yeah,
you know, Taylor's read Jane Eyre, I don't doubt at all. It's a really good book. If you hadn't read it, you should.
I've never read it.
You should read it. Yeah.
Maybe I will.
It's a good one. Anyway, I don't think it inspired Dear Reader directly. I think
no, probably
more
not.
by just like advice columns in newspapers.
Yeah. And then r/Taylor Swift ranked it 20th out of 20 tracks on Midnight Survivor. And it was 20th by a good margin. It absolutely has its defenders, though.
Yes, indeed.
I agree. It belongs at 20.
Well, we'll see. We'll see when we get to our ratings and thoughts. But first, let's dive into the lyrics a bit. So, right off into the verses. Dear Reader, if it feels like a trap, you're already in one. Dear Reader, get out your map, pick somewhere and just run. Dear Reader, burn all the files, desert all your past lives. And if you don't recognize yourself, that means you did it right. Dear Reader, bend when you can, snap when you have to. Dear Reader, you don't have to answer just because they ask you. Dear Reader, the greatest of luxuries is your secrets. Dear Reader, when you aim at the devil, make sure you don't miss. So, as I mentioned with the Jane Eyre thing, I think it's more of an advice column homage, Dear Abby type thing. And I think it's interesting that Taylor advises the reader to abandon who they are / who they were, and that the greatest of luxuries is your secrets, because, you know, Taylor is somebody who a lot of people would aspire to be. So it's interesting she thinks, you know, of changing and just dropping it and becoming a whole new human, that's something people would want. She's constantly in the public eye. She cannot really do that. She can't disappear. People would follow her, as we saw with the rehearsal dinner last night.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have any secrets from people. People dig for dirt on her all the time.
I was going to say, even the ones she has, people won't let her have them.
Yeah. So I guess it's a grass is always greener type of situation. A lot of people aspire to be Taylor Swift. Taylor aspires to be nobody. Just a normal person. And I also feel like the get out your map, pick somewhere and just run really speaks to me personally, because I am someone who is from the Alabama Gulf Coast. Interstate 10 runs right through the heart of my county, goes from Jacksonville, Florida, all the way to Santa Monica, California. And there's a part of me that has always wanted to just get on that thing and just go west, man, and get off in some little nowhere town in New Mexico and just start a whole new life. I don't know, maybe selling turquoise or something. That's what they do out there, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. With a new name, like Johnny Turquoise.
Johnny Turquoise.
Yeah. Be anybody I want to be. Past is in the past. It can't hurt me no more. They don't know where I'm at. I'm desert trash now, you know? Yeah. I'm not Gulf Coast trash. I'm desert trash now.
I've always thought it'd be cool to do a road trip on I-10. I particularly identify with and love the lyrics. The bend when you can, snap when you have to. I think that is cool. I like that play on words. And you don't have to answer just because they asked you. As a woman, I feel this deep, 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 deep in my soul.
Indeed. In the chorus, never take advice from someone who's falling apart. Taylor, or the speaker, whoever we want to call them, is presumably the writer of an advice column. And the verses are all of their different pieces of advice. But then, here in the chorus, we learn that maybe they aren't the best person to give advice. The persona they've created in their writing is a facade. Once the curtain is drawn back, you see that they're not the confident, all-knowing sage that they portray themselves as. And that's basically who Taylor has sort of been pretending to be, or forced to pretend to be, really, since she was 15 years old. Because, you know, being a star, you kind of have to do that. You kind of have to be above typical human things. You have to be a role model for people to aspire to.
Everybody takes what you say as fact, or they, look up to you and aspire to be you.
Because, she's rich and she's famous, so she must have everything figured out. She must know things I don't know. Mm-hmm. And maybe not.
And she's like, I'm just struggling to make it day to day like the rest of us.
Yep. I'm just a person. In the bridge, we go to, you wouldn't take my word for it if you knew who was talking.
That's a good line.
It is, yeah. If you knew where I was walking, to a house, not a home, all alone because nobody's there, where I pace in my pen and my friends found friends who care. Another good line. No one sees when you lose when you're playing solitaire. Another good one. The speaker is more interested in her writing than having genuine human connection. Being vulnerable gives people the power to hurt you. Isolation can keep you safe, keep your secrets. No one sees when you lose when you're playing solitaire. But at the same time, a life that is very lonely and not something that the reader should be aspiring to, Because without opening yourself up and being vulnerable with someone, you can never achieve true emotional intimacy, true love, And then pace in my pen, just a quality line. I like it a lot. Although at this point, I assume Madeline's going to tell me that it's secretly gay code, because that's what she does with everything. And if so, more power to you, Gaylors. Big ups. But how I read it is that pacing is something that I do, and a lot of people do when they're nervous. They're restless, can't relax. The speaker chooses instead to write through her problems. She writes her way out, to quote Hamilton. Mm-hmm. Can writing generated from that sort of negative emotional place ever really serve as accurate advice, as a positive impact on the world, or as objective in any way? I would say no, probably not. It can't. So that's interesting. And then in the outro, we have what I think is the sort of thesis statement of the song. You should find another guiding light, but I shine so bright. Mm-hmm. It reminds me a lot of Anti-Hero in that Taylor doesn't see herself as a role model. She's a flawed, albeit seems to be a generally well-meaning person, and a lot of people overlook those flaws because they're blinded by her celebrity, kind of like we talked about the other day with Ariana Grande and Lizzo. Celebrities are just people like us. They have the ability to do very good things, and they have the ability to do very bad things. And if we don't see them that way, if we set them up as this golden idol, when they can't live up to it, it's bound to disappoint us and to hurt us and make us feel betrayed in some way, which isn't really fair, to them as people, as human beings, because they make mistakes just like we do.
I also feel like Taylor has all of the Swifties who see her as a role model, or most of them do. The people who have grown up with her and have constantly seen her as a role model, but then the media who's constantly told her, or pointed out her flaws, told her how not great she was.
Yep. It goes both ways, that's for sure. They build you up so they can tear you down again.
Yep.
And I think it's an interesting parallel with Bejeweled. What's a girl gonna do? A diamond's gotta shine. That's a line from Bejeweled. Mm-hmm. Taylor realizes that the shine is a sort of facade. She regrets it on some level because it prevents you from seeing through that shine to what's underneath, the true her under there. But you can't stop shining because it's in her nature to shine. She needs to create. She needs to perform. Or to quote my boys in Fall Out Boy, I need the sound of crowds or I can't fall asleep at night. I can't take my thoughts and I am awake. The fame hides the real person, but it can also sort of protect them in a way. They can hide behind it like a shield, but it also is a double-edged sword, because if no one can see through it to the real you, then they can't connect with you in a real way.
Yep.
You can be alone in a crowded room because no one really knows you.
Yep.
So.
Sad.
Yep, and we're going to get to that a lot more next week, but we'll get there. Let's go to our overall thoughts then, shall we? Kimberly, what do you got?
All right. To me, this is a shout out to any 90s kids / early 2000s kids. It's given 2022 grown up version of Britney Spears' Dear Diary. But like, Dear Diary is definitely written from the point of a love-struck teenager. So this song would be like after the writer went through some shit. And like relatable at this point in our lives, you know?
Whomst among us.
Yeah, this song is very relatable. It's a good song, but it was a letdown to me compared to the rest of Midnight's. There's just so many heavy hitters, which I feel like works against this song. And there are a handful of Tia songs that I kind of wish didn't exist, but this isn't one of them. It's not high on my list, but I also, wouldn't delete it completely. It's not change, so...
Hey, that's, a low bar, but it cleared it. So, there you go. All right, let's see. I think, for me, it's a very interesting song. I think it's a cool idea, conceptually, that didn't really come together in the exact way that Taylor wanted. I think sonically, just the sound, it would have fit on Midnight's very well. Mm-hmm. It reminds me a lot of, like, Lavender Haze and Midnight Rain and some of the others. But it just wasn't quite on that level, I think. I think a lot of artists have songs like this that we just never hear. Songs that, start off as an interesting idea that just doesn't come together. Almost but not quite there. And they get shelved because they aren't perfect. When it's a testament to Taylor's clout that she can say, I'm going to put it out. It didn't. Maybe it's not perfect, but I'm putting it out anyway because I think it's valuable. Some of the lyrical themes of the song, I think, were reimagined and done better probably on Anti-Hero. Whereas some of the sonic ideas were reimagined and made better on Midnight Rain, possibly.
Right. She worked out the kinks in other places, but then still chose to put the song on.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I think is good, because I like it.
I'm
glad it exists in the world. I'm glad we can see that sort of process and progression throughout. Let's go to ratings, shall we? For those who may be joining us for the first time, hello and welcome, my sweet little pumpkin. We rate every song from 1 to 10. 1 is very bad, 10 is very good, 5 is very mid. Kimberly, what did you rate it?
I gave it a 4.
Oof.
I don't know, that sounds harsh, but I don't sync this song out. I really don't go, man, I really want to listen to Dear Reader right now.
I think that's fair.
And when it comes on, like, I'll shuffle Midnights, and when it comes on, sometimes if I'm doing something else, I'll let it play. But most of the time it starts, and I'm like, I'm bored, next.
Fair enough. I like it a little better than you.
Yeah.
Mostly because I had to sort of get into it a little bit for this episode. That really sort of made it go up a little bit for me.
Yeah.
Because I think the lyrics are very good.
Yeah, there
strong
are some
overall
solid lyrics.
So for me, I'm going to give it a 6. I think, like I said, it's a cool idea for a song that just didn't quite get there. But I admire the ambition. I like that she chose to put it out instead of burying it. And I'm glad we got it. Because I appreciate what she was going for. So, 6 for me. What do we got next week?
Mirror Ball from Folklore.
Yes, our first Folklore song somehow.
Yay, which is crazy. Striking out first round with a home run.
Indeed, and we are going to be joined by a very special guest. My very good friend, Christy, friend of the pod.
Yeah.
Yeah, certified folklore truther. So, excited to get her take on Mirror Ball. We'll see how it goes. Anything else from you that you wanted to mention?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, then I guess thank you all so much for listening. Follow us on the social medias. We will see you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Me.
Thank you for listening to Cowboys Like Us. Follow us on Twitter at cowboyslike_pod and Instagram at cowboyslikeus_pod. New episodes every Monday on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. Y'all come back now, you hear?